It's okay to be spiritual. You don't need to be religious, put crystals under the moon, or meditate for hours. You just need to be open to the possibility there's something bigger than you.
Then it's shown to you in a song, a feeling, a sign. That's when life becomes magical. And then you discover that it really is okay to be spiritual. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Views expressed are those of the hosts and guests' personal experiences. The information provided is not a substitute for professional advice, whether medical, legal, or otherwise. Welcome back to another episode of It's Okay to Be Spiritual. I'm Helen, and Laurie is shuffling the cards, and we are about to discover what the topic of this episode will be. Ooh. What's your understanding of karma and dharma? Well, let's figure this out as we go, shall we? If the purpose of life is to expand love energy, then whenever we're acting in a way that is unloving, aren't we going to have unloving energy come back to us?
Well, that's true. And do you call that karma?
Well, it's better than getting your knickers in a twist.
But karma can be good and bad, right?
Yeah, it's expand love, more love comes back.
Yeah, so I think people get karma mixed up, except for Taylor Swift, because she says karma's her boyfriend.
Oh. I'm just left speechless because, I thought we were going to have every episode with Carl Gray, but it seems to be every episode with Taylor Swift.
I'm very unpredictable. Who knows where I'll go next? I like pop culture references. But yeah, she says, karma can be good and bad. Like karma's bad for you because you're a bad person. Karma will be good for me because I'm a good person. But good and bad is by the definition of the person who believes it, right? There may be, a good thing may not be good to someone else. Or you can view it differently. If you're very spiritually enlightened, you can see a decision that someone else would think is bad as good because it got you onto the right path, even though it was a very hard way of getting there. It is perspective karma, I think.
And two, when you're on a spiritual path, like we said in another episode, you take a bigger picture. But I think to truly understand karma, you need maybe you need help from a psychic or a medium, someone like you, but you need to be able to take a really big picture, like a multi-lifetime picture, and maybe even sometimes a multi-dimensional picture.
My brother once said something very enlightening to me. I probably can't do it justice. It doesn't happen very often. But he was saying something along the lines of time is what changes your perspective on whether something was good or bad. And so it can feel like it was a really bad thing in the moment, or it wasn't the right pathway, or you weren't on the right track, or you made the wrong decision. But there never really is a wrong decision, but you just can't see that. And with the perspective of time, whether that's weeks, years, it becomes clear as to why that had to happen.
But time gives you a bigger perspective, doesn't it? Like it helps you to zoom out. Because when we're in the thick of something, we're very zoomed in. We're very narrow-minded.
Agree.
So a friend of mine who's in this lifetime had a lot of struggle keeps saying to me, I must have done something really bad because it's all coming back to me now. But I don't know, it's really, karma's one of those things where you often can't, you just, like I was saying, you have to zoom right out. It could be a multi-lifetime thing that's unfolding. And so, but to me, the core of it is always the expansion of love. What do I need to go through? What do I need to break free from? What patterns do I need to release to be able to expand love in my life experience? You know how I like to read.
We definitely know this.
So I have a book that I recommend on this topic.
What is it?
Cycles of the Soul by Gina. Yeah, it's a really great book. And she was able to channel, I can't remember who she channeled it from, whether it was a group of beings or Gina usually channels Jesus. So anyway, check out the book and we can figure that out. But it went into a lot of detail about, if this happens in this lifetime, what the next lifetime is likely to be planned for to balance out the karma. And she talks about, that's why I kept going on about it's a multi-lifetime thing. It's not just yesterday. And also the importance of pre-life planning.
Yes, I was just thinking of soul contracts.
Yeah, so soul contracts and karma, what's the difference?
Yeah, good one. I agree.
So if we can't tell the difference between karma and soul contracts, I don't know, maybe we'll figure it out in the years to come, but at this point I can't really tell the difference. But another book I'm reading that has just popped into my mind, and the point was made that no one knows why someone's at where they're at except God. So this book was written in that language, and that's fine. You could say except source or except the universe or except the divine. But no one knows except source itself. So why then are we judging ourselves or anyone else? Karma and soul contracts and pre-life planning is all much bigger than our perspective, in this physical life experience.
Yeah, I agree. And soul contracts, the people who you're going to interact with, the experiences that you're going to have, the lessons you're going to learn, the directions you're going to take. Yeah, like it's all part of it, and you don't know when you're in the thick of it. And if you get into this mindset of, oh, this happened to me because of bad karma, then you're just creating that reality. So this just happened to me because it was part of my soul contract, that there's no good or bad on that. That's just what I'm doing in this lifetime and what I agreed to do. And there's no judgment on that. There's no expectation on that. It just is.
I think, too, the better way to approach karma is just to not think about it at all, really, but instead of that, to focus on the expansion of love energy. Because if you focus there, it's naturally going to raise your vibration, which naturally raises all of your life experience, and then suddenly you're not worried about anything anymore. Except you're living with this attitude of, gratitude, but also of expansion and this intent to expand love wherever you go, even if it's just a smile as you pass a stranger on the street. It still counts.
Yeah.
It still passes on a lovely energy.
Yeah, agree. So let's just kick karma to the curb, hey? We don't need it.
Hey, we just need to expand love.
Can Taylor Swift write a song with those lyrics in it?
Oh, why doesn't Laurie write a song?
Because I don't sing, for starters.
A lot of songwriters don't sing. Someone else sings their songs.
Oh, that's so true. Yes. Yes.
We'll get a song out of it before the podcast is over. Let's shuffle another card. Oh, she's smiling. This is a good sign. Oh, this is all yours.
That's why I'm smiling.
What's your favourite way to draw an oracle or tarot card? Shuffle, hands over them, split them. Oh, and then it says add a favourite way to read. Let's just do the first question first.
Favourite way to shuffle a card. Do you have a favourite, Helen?
I have a little story around this. Do you want the story now?
Yeah, perfect.
So the first oracle deck I ever bought was a fairy deck, a Doreen Virtue fairy deck. And, due to my church-based school upbringing, I thought I was such a rebel buying an oracle deck. And I was a little bit scared of it. And I was
scared of the oracle. You should be scared of the tarot, not the oracle.
I don't like their fairies. I shouldn't be scared of this. And I'd open the deck and I'd read the book and I just didn't know what to do. Like, I don't know. I must have read the book and it just I didn't sink in. Like I did not get it. But I wanted to get it. And so then I would just shuffle the deck until a card jumped out, which I don't know if you've ever had fairy cards. They just, the fairies are jumpers. They just jump out all the time.
I love that, jumping fairies. That's my new favourite thing.
Yeah, fairy decks jump. But I thought I was like some kind of weird person who couldn't use the deck, and I kind of like beat myself up over it, like I wasn't cool enough to know how to use the deck properly. And then just like this year, I've discovered that shuffling the cards until a card jumps out of the deck is a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
And I'm like, oh, I've been doing it right all this time.
Yeah. It's actually, so shuffling for a jumper is my favorite way to read, because I feel energetically that you're getting, I mean, either way you do it is up to you, but I really like the jumpers. I can feel when a deck, like our deck today is not shuffling great, like I can feel the energy on that deck. So you can feel your energy if you're going to have a jumping deck, if you want to just lay them out. So I started actually by getting the deck and laying it out, fanning it on my bed, and then running my hand along it. And when my hand buzzed, I would just go down and pick whatever card was under my hand, whatever my middle finger, I would just make an agreement, whatever one my middle finger touched was the one, because you will touch a lot when the fanning method. So whatever one I touched, I would just pull out, and that was my card. And I would keep going until I just felt like stopping, or the story unfolded in the cards. So one day you could have 3 cards, one day you could have 10 cards. There is no right or way wrong. You can shuffle and pull however you like. You can also go with traditional spreads as well, or you can go non-traditional and just ask a question and see what pops out.
But that brings me to a point I wanted to make when you were talking about running your hand over the deck, because I like that technique too, is that in a way it's kind of handy if you tell the deck what you're going to do first.
Yes.
So it's not, and it's like we've been talking about with the signs and synchronicities, it's a relationship with the universe. So pulling a card out of a deck is still, you're still ultimately having a conversation with the universe. So it's like, telling people when you're going to meet for coffee. Instead, you're saying to the deck, hey, deck, I think I'm going to shuffle till one jumps, so just jump the right one.
Yeah, intent is everything. So whenever you're pulling cards or working with cards, you don't need to follow someone else's ritual, but you should have a method of practice yourself. So there is no set ritual. You develop it yourself. Initially, I wrapped mine in a scarf with a little crystal.
Oh, nice.
And every time I got my cards out, I would unravel the scarf, and then I would shuffle them, lay them out on the scarf, put the crystal, which was a communication crystal, at the top, and then would just connect into the earth and divine energy, wrap myself in a bubble, and ask for my highest good and the following question.
Yeah, that's a really nice process.
And that's simple. Some people have little shrines, or they have a space in their house, or they'll go outside in the early morning and put them on the grass. You just, whatever you want to do, you do. There's no right or wrong way. You can do a lot of courses that will teach you how to read them or how to draw them and shuffle them. But I think intuitively is always the best way. Have a look at what other people are doing for information and interest, but then come back into you and what am I using them for too?
And also building a relationship with the deck itself, like having your hands on the deck. Some people sleep with them under their pillow.
I was just about to say, every deck I get, I will cleanse with smoke, welcome it to my toolbox, and I carried it around. I cook a lot at home. I put it in my apron when I cooked for like a couple of days, and then put it beside my bed and would just carry this little deck around with me because I wanted to feel the energy, and you're calibrating the energy and you're getting to know it. Clean it first. So clean off anything from the shop with smoke or sun or crystals, and then, carry it around, talk to it.
Because it's going to communicate with you. And the more in relationship you are with the deck, and therefore the more relationship you are with the universe. It's just like the nines, the signs and synchronicities we keep talking about. The more you interact, the better the relationship.
And so find a deck that resonates with you. Don't buy a fairy deck if you're not into fairies. Likewise, don't go buy an Australian animal oracle if you're not into that. And likewise with the tarot decks come in so many different shapes, like not shapes, they're all cards, but themes and stories and storylines, and they can be like Viking and witches and mystical creatures and elementals. But if you don't resonate with those, you're not going to connect with the deck.
And there's a lot of misconstrued history around the tarot, isn't there? You know, it's a lot like many spiritual concepts, but some of them have been, like the tarot, have been deliberately misconstrued, like deliberately made dark. And so some tarot decks I find very dark, and I'm like, whoa, I'm not going there.
I would agree with that. You really do get the energy from the deck. And when I actually picked my first deck, they said to me, just stand in front of the shelf and just see what speaks to you. Pick them up, turn them over, see what themes are on them. And I still read with a very limited deck. I still read with Rider-Waite Tarot, because that's how I learned. So I understand the symbology. I understand all the pictures on it. I work with it. And I have little things that have come through during my reads that remind me of a card. So I have those links now with cards. So to pull another deck and try and read like the 8 of Cups, I don't have that connection with another style. So I have my connection with the Rider-Waite, which is the one you will find that most of the books are about, and a lot of websites based on Rider-Waite.
It's considered the traditional deck, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But you can pull whatever deck you like, but you just have to connect with it.
And then it's a matter of practice, isn't it? It's a matter of relationship. It's a matter of having your hands on the cards.
Yeah.
And you can do great readings just with oracle cards.
Yes. There was actually a reader at a market I was at the other day, and he would only read oracle. And so oracle is generally more guidance-based. It's more, like, I find it softer. It doesn't feel as intense as the tarot, although you can get some oracle cards that mimic the tarot. So you will get a tower or, you know, a 9 of Swords and an oracle that's the equivalent. When you read them, you can see what they're trying to pull from the tarot, like the theme is similar. But oracles are generally more general guidance. There's no bad cards in the deck generally. I have a really nice one called Magical Spirit Oracle from Big W that I read.
Not made by Big W,
No,
just
made.
Purchased at Big W.
Did I say made? It's by Alexis Rakun.
Well, that deck, that's a really nice, that's a fun deck too.
And
Sort of got a bit of sass and attitude.
And modern and lots of very female empowerment, but not over the top. There's still a few mushrooms and bees. And
I know, it feels a little bit 60s-ish.
Yeah, yes, it does. It definitely like a hippie deck. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. So I connect with that deck, interestingly. Oh, look, and I'm wearing my tarot dress today.
Oh,
I manifested this card.
I love that tarot dress. So, yeah, well, sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say, like, I feel like it, like something speaks to you, right? When you step into this, you will find what's speaking to you and like the deck that's for you.
Yeah, but just have fun with it. Take the rules off. That's, you know, I carried that sort of like guilt and shame of not knowing how to shuffle, how to pull a card out of my deck for flipping years.
Yes.
That's unnecessary energy.
And if you can't physically shuffle, because some oracles are quite big.
Oh, yeah, the cards can be huge.
Huge. And you can't get your hands around them, or if you have arthritis or, you know, your hands aren't functioning at the capacity to be able to pull, you can just tap a couple of times front and back and split the deck and say, I'm going to take the first 3 from when I split. You can fan them out. You could throw them up for all you like.
Yeah.
Just see whatever one on the floor you see first and pick it up.
Yep.
That's how kids can really read decks if they want to get into very beginner oracle reading when the time's right. Because children can't shuffle really. I'm not a great shuffler. I'm a traditional shuffler. I can't do those cool fanning things that people do.
I can't do those either, yeah. I always split a deck with my left hand, not my right.
Oh, why do you think that is?
I don't know. It somehow feels more intuitive. Like the right's trying to like control it more and the left is just okay to be more sensitive.
I was just about to say that. So left is your flow and the feminine, and that would make complete sense. You need to be more in that when you're reading tarot, less control, less rigidity, less structure.
Oh, and the other thing, I never find it very useful when I come to my deck of cards feeling a little desperate.
Yeah, good one.
It's way better to come feeling open to possibility and receptive to guidance and a little bit excited about life, or, a
I-
higher vibration anyway.
I agree. And if you're not in a good frame of mind, it's not the right time to be reading. Get someone else to read for you.
Mm.
And particularly if you're very into a situation, you will read, but you'll be biased in what you want the cards to say. I do that all the time. I'm a terrible self-reader, like the worst there ever is, because I see them and I'm automatically, oh, that's how that's going to play out. And I'm generally so far off the mark. Like, I'm getting better because I'm letting go. And your questions need to be, if you're trying to read for yourself about a difficult situation, it shouldn't be, how is it going to play out? It should be, what can I learn from this situation?
Or how can I bring more love to this situation?
What is this situation trying to show me? What direction is a possibility from this situation?
Yeah. And so that reminds us, like, it's great to be mindful of what we're asking when we're shuffling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still practicing that, to be honest. So I think that wraps up our favourite ways to use an oracle and tarot. Our favourite ways to draw a card.
That's what we do anyway.
Let us know how you find the decks. Yeah, which ones vibrate with you, or resonate with you. And let us know.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye for now.